Hey guys, welcome back to my Moy Style video. Today I'm gonna show you some drills you can do to keep your hands back. Hey, that's what it is. Alright, so now before we jump into drills, we gotta know how to load. If we don't know how to properly load, we're gonna have a hard time keeping our hands back. So there's a couple of things that I normally see, especially younger hitters. They have a tendency of jumping way too fast on the way forward. They try to jump so fast on the way forward that they don't have time to hold the hands back, so the hands start to get ahead of the lower half. So they'll get in their stance, they'll jump forward. Now this hands or the back elbow starts to drop, and everything else starts falling out of sequence. So we gotta make sure we keep everything in sequence. So when I hit the ground, I gotta make sure once I hit the ground, my hip is taking over, then my core, then my shoulders, and the hands are gonna be the last thing that come through the zone. So when I get in my stance here, I keep it real simple here, okay? So when this front foot starts to go forward, this back elbow's gotta pull back. If we don't pull back and we just let it collapse, it's just gonna help us even more to just get ahead of the lower half, and we're gonna be out of sequence, okay? So again, I get in my stance, whatever stance you start from. The main thing is that we gotta properly pull back this way, push our hips back, get in good posture, so now we have a better chance to actually start a swing in sequence and not just let this get ahead of the lower half. And the last thing here, when we move to center, we have to slow down. If we don't slow down, we're gonna have a hard time keeping our hands back, and then we're gonna end up either just dropping our hands too early, or we're gonna start backing away, or we're gonna be way out in front. All right, so this is one of my favorite drills that I like to do with a lot of my hitters. So if you don't have anybody with you, you can use a post, a fence post, or a wall, or something that is kind of firm to kind of force you to kind of separate the upper body from the lower half. So let's say I get in my stance here. So I'm showing you from my stance first. So say I get in my stance, I pull back. Now, I'm gonna get real close to this fence post over here, and that's kind of where I want my hands to be when I start to move forward. So I can start right here. Let's say you're a guy that starts with the hands down, or up here, or somewhere close this way. When I start to step forward this way, I'm gonna push my hips back, and now I'm gonna get to center. As soon as that front foot hits the ground, I'm gonna start to engage my back hip, but I'm gonna let this thing hold me back. If you do it wrong, and I'm gonna do it slightly over from this side so you can kind of see it. If I start to rush forward, see, first of all, I'm getting away from this post here, and second, if I start to push this way, which is normally what causes this to get ahead of the lower half, then you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel the difference here, because you're gonna start feeling a little bit of a tension here on your shoulder, or maybe your elbow too, okay? So I'll do it from this side. So when I get to center, I gotta make sure I engage the back hip, but just let this post right here just hold you. And if you have somebody that can hold you here, you can do the same thing as well. So all you're doing is separating the upper body from the lower half. So this engages, and this just kind of falling in place here, okay? Because the swing, when I get to center, that's what it will happen. Well, it should happen here. If I start to get ahead of the lower half, then this is gonna get ahead of me, okay? So that's why I like this post right here. So I'm able to engage my lower half, and I'm holding my hands back and pinching that scapular back. All right, so now you can use a piece of tubing here, or any type of band that you can wrap around a fence post or a fence, or you can actually have somebody that hold the band for you. They just gotta know how to time it up, okay? So in this case, all I'm gonna do is separate myself from the post here. I'm gonna keep it above my shoulder, my back shoulder. You don't want it to be below your armpit here. So keep it above. I'm gonna hold it just like I hold a regular bat here, okay? So I'm gonna put a little bit of tension here. You don't want too much tension, because now if it starts to pull your back too hard, now you're gonna start hurting your lower back, okay? So I'm gonna show you from this side first. So when I get to center, I'm pinching back here, but when I engage this lower half slightly, this should be pulling it slightly back, okay? What I don't wanna do is this. I don't wanna just try to force it forward this way, because obviously you're gonna start to feel it, and you don't want so much tension that the band takes you too far back. now you're gonna hurt your lower back, okay? So watch it again, I get to center, and I engage my lower half. This thing automatically takes me slightly back. That's kind of what you want. You want this to hold you slightly back from letting it collapse down here. And obviously you'll feel it if you let it go too early. So again, I get to center, I pull back. All right, so now the next one, I'm sure you've seen this before, but I'm gonna use a PVC pipe. You can use a broomstick, or anything you can hold back here, but the only reason why I like this, because you can actually slightly bend it a little bit, and that's kind of what we're looking for. So when we get to center, we're gonna put a little bit of pressure on this, and I've shown this on previous videos, but I'm gonna cross my front foot over my back one, and I'm gonna put pressure here. And the reason why is because the faster we jump forward, the more chance we give the hands to get ahead of the lower half. So the more under control we are with our load, the better chance we got to keep our hands back, okay? So we're gonna put a little pressure here with our hands. Don't try to lean against the pipe. When I start to get to center, once the front foot hits the ground, I'm gonna push my hips back, and then I'm gonna engage the lower half, but I'm not letting this come forward, and I'm definitely not gonna be leaning this way, okay? So watch it again. I'm gonna push my back hip back. I'm gonna bend slightly my back knee. As I move to center, I'm gonna slow down, and as soon as the front foot hits the ground, make sure you get to center. Now I start to engage my back hip, and my hands are gonna hold back. I don't want this, and definitely don't wanna be sitting up against this pipe. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, when you do these drills, you can actually have somebody toss you the ball, or like on the hand toss, or throw it to you, and you can be working on all these things. If you have a little bit of space, you can work on all these things without swinging. Because the main thing here is learning how to separate the upper body from the lower half. If we start to rush the load, just like I said before, we're gonna see the hands get ahead of the lower half too early, and that's what we don't want. If you wanna watch more videos like this, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and remember, keep it Moy Style. Hey guys, if you're interested in team camps, like infield camps around the nation, just shoot me a text at 251-509-3815. And if you're in the Oklahoma area and you're interested in private lesson or group lessons, contact me at the same number. Keep it Moy Style.